You were a wanderer mage amongst the centuries, wrote diaries long lost in time, lived to see kingdoms come and fall. While becoming a professor you found out that people use incantations and staffs to cast their spells. I am Professor Drongbird. My name feels a tad on the nose. I am an English, a race of sapient avians. My feathers are golden yellow, my wings and spellcasting have served me for years. Years and years of immortality spells have kept me around. I've seen everything rise and fall, until, after all this time, I got a job at Belmore College, one of the most prestigious mages colleges. And, in my first year, we ran into some problems. So, I said, writing on the chalkboard, who knows how to cast multiple spells at once? The students all looked around at each other. Well? This is spells for intermediate, guys. A hand was raised. Yes, Bane? A human asked. Professor Bird, what do you mean at once? I rubbed my temples. I mean at once. Like two, at the same time. Pretty obvious stuff. Now the students were murmuring to each other, until one in the first row, Raquel, an orc, said, how do you use two incantations at once? I chuckled, what? Is this a senior prank? Bame added, Bird, bro, you should, of all people, no you can't just cast a spell. I asked, huh? You gotta do the incantation, and then the staff, so that way. I rolled my eyes. Now they erupted. I heard some excerpts. Idiot, how does our professor not know about staffs, and when will we learn a single incantation? And it explains so much. So, I did what made the most sense. I shot my hand in the air, and cast a flash spell, nothing dangerous, and my entire class fell silent. I heard Raquel whisper, his eyes lit up like. But she soon was silent. Finally, Leah asked, how'd you do that? I just do. I looked around, come on, this can't a English thing, Heather, a fellow English, all white feathers, come on, cast a spell, please. She looked around, then said, W without my staff? My head involuntarily turned to its side. SD staff? The students murmured, but not with rage or bewilderment, but curiosity. Began Kelsey, do you, a mage, really not know about staves or incantations? I scratched my neck. I'll be honest, and no. I have always casted without a staff. I don't really know how staffs were made. How big is a staff? Like, tall as the person? Tyler said. I rubbed my chin. Tall as the caster? Or as a human? The latter, Heather said. Well, I sighed, do you know what species developed magic? I got some answers from the students. Elves? Dwarves? Orcs? No, not fucking orcs, Raquel. English? Ooh, Croven. My eyes widened. I sighed, I guess the answer is not the most obvious, if you do not know the origins, but, I chuckled, kobolds. What? It's true. Do you guys not do kobold history, or? They were beat back 200 years ago, Raquel pointed out. Right, Ironhammer. Huh? Asked Tyler. I sighed, Magritte Ironhammer, he wanted the kobolds driven out. I took a large breath, okay, I'm not actually 35, I'm over 400 years old. The class was loud, shouting various things. I held my hands, lowering them as a silent signal, which they did. Magritte wanted power. He drove away kobolds, and is the one who nearly killed all the elves. He did it because kobolds knew magic better than anyone else. But, are they still alive? Asked Raquel. I nodded. The kobolds are across the mountains. They still cast without staves. They can't, they're too small. Pause. Okay, new curriculum, casting without a staff or incantation, and I want you to show me later, because I have never heard of this. If my ex hears pause, wide-eyed, then I sighed, so my ex is a kobold. They all started laughing. Look, we love each other, and she is the strongest mage I've ever met. Smaller bodies acted as better vessels for Mag, huh? Maybe that's why they use staves. As a smaller vessel. Would you like to see some of my favorite spells? Before they answered, I quickly added, outside? Outside? They all nodded, so we did. I cast some spells, fireball, lightning fingies, I know that's not the name, but I love it, overgrow, water fan, and some other ones. Each time, I could see in their faces immense joy, and sadness? Were they worried I was at a level they'd never reach? Or that society had somehow ruined it? There. Pause, I may need to talk to the dean about what I've done, but as you can see, no staff, nor incantation. Now, do you have your staves? I do, Heather said. Show me. Okay, she pulled out her staff, a long, black rod, that could fold. Oh, neat. Take that, long swordsman. Anyways, she cast a spell, she started saying something, her eyes lit up, which, to be fair, happens on normal spells, and she cast it, from the staff itself. I talked to the dean later. Turns out, staves and incantations help out new mages, it focuses the spell, and, as I predicted, acted as a secondary vessel. But, an adept mage should theoretically be able to cast without either. And, these changes were made during Magritte. I'll have to look into this.